Hi. So, what do we do when, unfortunately, a guest doesn't show up? We need to figure that out.
Yes.
But today what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick random question generator. We're each going to do 5 questions from this for each other.
Yeah.
Totally random questions. Don't get to read them first. Don't get to see them first. And we're just going to kind of give our answers.
Yeah. I like it. It's going to be very spontaneous. It's going to be very fun. I'm going to do the intro because we need to fill these whiskey glasses.
Oh, yes, that's true.
So
that's true.
Here we go.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
So I'm not disinterested.
Yes.
I'm holding my phone because I have a
Yes, this is where we're getting our questions from.
randomwordgenerator.com.
Yes, we're going to check that out.
Now we could do a number of things. We can go to the old pod decks, but I like this. I like this. This is going to be nice and.
I like that it's random and that I have no idea what questions you're going to ask me.
Mm-hmm.
And
all right, so we'll give it a 3, 2, 1, and then hit generate.
Yeah.
Oh, you did it right.
Well, no. I just did it at first to see. So we
right.
so
3, 2, 1,
generate. All right.
Okay.
So, do you want to go first? Or you want me to ask first?
Ladies first.
Okay. Fine with that. Classy lady, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. Question for you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
What is the next big purchase you're currently saving for?
Wow. Well, when you have a family, it's a very hard thing to say,
mm-hmm.
because it's not like traditionally I'd be like, I'm going to buy a guitar or whatever. Like, there's a time and a place for everything. And also, so, like Jen and I, we're pretty good with our finances and stuff. And when we want something, we discuss it and we go, okay, well, what's going to be the best route to approach this? And what we'll often do is either find a credit card that'll do like a balance transfer, or we'll open a new card that does, well, if you open and you spend this much money, you get this much back, and then you get 2% and 2%, and then you have 18 months and all that kind of thing. So, I mean, I guess the most recent thing that we did, the big purchase, is we booked a trip to Aruba. The whole family, all 4 of us.
Nice.
All inclusive.
It's for your birthday, right?
For my birthday, my 40th birthday.
Hell yeah.
And so that's the next big purchase that I've done that I haven't really saved for it, but I've planned to pay for it.
Gotcha. That works. That's fair.
Yeah, a little different.
All right.
A little different.
Nice. All right.
All right. Question number 1 for you. What do you wish they would teach at school that they don't?
I can only go by what I wish I would have learned at school that I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that in school I was able to learn more about personal finance.
Yes.
Those are like things that I had to figure out on my own, like percentages and like APRs and a savings account versus a checking account and investing and like all that kind of stuff.
Well, something that I can tell you is that they are instituting that in schools now.
Good.
Gavin, I believe it was this year. Yeah, this year. They even had a whole field trip that is based around finance and personal finance and building a business and using your finances properly and all that kind of stuff. But I agree with you.
Yeah, I didn't know what a 401k was.
We learned about imaginary numbers, though.
Yeah.
You know what you can't do?
What's that?
Pay your bills with imaginary numbers.
You sure can't. They work the same way exposure does.
They do. They certainly do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's my answer because I didn't learn it. I wish that was in every school. I wish it was a
Yeah.
mandatory thing that was taught in every single school.
Sure.
Because it seems like some schools do, some don't. Even back when I was going, but even now it seems
Yeah.
like that as well. So yeah, personal finance stuff.
I love it.
I wish that was a thing. What sound will instantly melt your heart?
Daddy.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah. My daughter
Okay.
or son, when they go, Daddy, can you come play with me? Daddy, can we watch something together? Or Dad,
Nice.
yeah, 100%.
That just melted my heart a little bit.
Oh,
Your answer kind of melted my heart a little bit. That's an adorable answer.
oh, dude, it's the best. It's the best, and it's really cool. The past few years, I've been afforded the opportunity to spend more time with my kids, and wouldn't give it away for the world, whatever hardships it may have caused and stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't give it away for the world, but like, yeah, man, the more you spend time with them, the more attached to you they get, and it's cool.
Nice.
It's really cool.
Nice. Good one.
Thanks.
All right.
All right, it's my turn.
Yeah. What you got for me?
What's something that was completely out of character that you did?
Completely out of character that I did.
That's a hard.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to give you a second to think because I do want to preface this for everybody.
right.
That if you've known Jimmy at all, his being is basically like, I just want to do things regardless. Like, you just do
Yeah.
things. So at doing things, quote unquote, out of character is a very in character thing for you to do.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if I explained it properly, but
Well,
yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I agree. It is hard for me to think like that. Like I've said on the show before that there was a time in my life where I was really like a jerk, but at that time that was kind of in character for me because it's who I was. So I can't even really count that. Things out of character. Damn. There have definitely been times where I had to and normally I would go into specifics, but I don't want to do that just because it involves more people than me.
Mhm.
But there are times where I've had to say no to kind of being there to help a friend through something once it's gotten to the point of where I started to feel like I was being taken advantage of.
Mhm.
But that's still out of character for me because I'm kind of always a yes guy who's there.
Yeah.
So it was very weird for me to have to be like, you're on
end
your
of the
own.
line, yeah.
You're on your own on this one. And kind of draw a line.
Yeah.
Because I haven't drawn many lines in my life.
Right.
So doing that I think was an out of character thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good answer, but it's
It's
what I got.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one.
all right. Let's see. What's something that you believe that most other people don't?
That I believe that most people don't.
Mhm.
Man, I gotta say, getting into the paranormal stuff.
Okay.
I definitely think that more people are starting to, and starting to open up to that realm of possibilities. So I'd say that. I think another thing, and maybe I'm wrong, but just the general feeling I get from people is that I find that people often think the worst in people immediately.
Yes,
And I try and do the opposite.
I'm with you on that one. that would have probably been my answer too.
And maybe it's to a fault sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I've gotten the short end of the stick on certain deals, but yeah, I think that might be a.
Where do you think you got that from? Like, I know I got it from my mom, 100%.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I understand that because like, and this isn't anything against anyone that you
Right.
know in your life, but I'm saying like your mom certainly isn't a Pollyanna rose-colored glasses person. She's very realistic,
Right.
Right. So I don't think that she looks for the worst, but I also don't think she looks for the best. I think she just kind of takes
I would
it as
say-
it
I would say-
comes.
Probably my grandmother.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandma was like that too.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Question number 3. Do you have a nightmare travel story?
I have so many.
I was going to say, you've been on the road.
I have so many nightmare travel stories. So I believe it was the last time. Oh no, I was gonna talk about a tour, but I'll say this instead. Sick as Monday, we had booked a show in, I believe it was Chicago, and it was just one show, and it was actually booked by someone else in the band, and they were like, "We have to do this." It was with a booking agent that had worked with bigger bands and had booked other things. So it was kind of a, hey, get in good with this guy, because we had spoken to him and he said, hey, I have this event. It's in Chicago, but I can make a spot for you guys. And we had met him on another tour. And so we didn't have anything else booked. And we had like literally come back from a tour close enough to where we couldn't go on tour again for another couple of weeks. It couldn't be like a 2 weeks out, 2 weeks in.
Right.
So we literally were like, we're going to drive to Chicago for one show and drive back. And it was one of the only road things that I didn't have a hand in booking at all. And we had conversations where it was just like, okay, we need to make sure that this is gonna be good,
Right.
because there was no money involved. We weren't getting paid. This was literally a come work with this guy as a earn some kind
Some
of
goodwill
with, and kind of take it on the chin. Okay, we're gonna do this. This is gonna be a
Right.
loss, but we're gonna do it and hopefully
For a
create
better
a
opportunity.
thing. Exactly. So we did what we normally do with road shows. Is I always I'd make flyers, I'd make a big poster, I'd send them to the venue with, hey, here's our stuff, please hang it up here. Here's some smaller ones, please hang these up in the bathrooms, please hang one of these up in the front window. Here's, and
Right.
and I had him kind of do all that, and I sent everything, and I was like, where do I send it? What do I do here? And he was like, yep, everything's taken care of. I said, cool, awesome, sent it. So we drove. So then we jump on the road, and it's like we still people had to take off work, all that kind of stuff. So we drive to Chicago, which is about 15 hours.
Okay.
14, 15-hour drive. We get to the venue. We go in. The first thing I see behind the bar, leaning against the wall, is the tube that I had sent posters in,
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
unopened. Clearly, I didn't see any posters in the window. I was like, oh man, that sucks. We get in, and apparently the guy that had booked the show said, yeah, I was in contact with this guy about a week ago. Where everything's set, everything's good, right? Come to find out, he hadn't been in contact with the guy a week ago. Not only that, but the bar had no knowledge whatsoever that there was an event going on there that night at all. There was no PA there. There was no band book there. There was no event book there. There was 2 people in the bar and the bartender. And they were like, we don't have anything on the schedule for tonight. We never did. And we couldn't get in touch with this guy, and literally ended up having to get back in the van and drive 15 hours home. It was a very quiet drive. And yeah, so that's like, I do have tour stories where like the van broke down and this, and you know, all these weird things happen, but like that's a horror story, because we took off work, we paid for gas, we did all this stuff to get there, only to find out that there was never a show.
That sucks.
And we didn't even get to play.
That
Like,
sucks.
it wasn't even like, well, play for whoever's here tonight, because there's no PA. There was no way for us to play, and there were only 2 people in the bar.
So it's still a wasted trip.
So it was just a complete wasted trip.
Brutal.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
I drank heavily and was like, I'm not driving for 1 second on the way back. So yeah, that's all right.
Okay. That's brutal.
Yeah,
That sucks.
that was a brutal one. What's up, guys? Are you a fan of Bacon Is My Podcast? And you're like, where can I find more stuff?
Well, we got the site for you at baconismypodcast.com. That's where you can find literally everything. It's the portal to his stuff, my stuff, and our stuff, including Bacon's My Fashion.
You can find t-shirts, you can find hats, you can find all kinds of stuff to put on your body parts. You can also check out all of our awesome sponsors, get discounts. We always have the most recent and the best prices for you. And check it out also over at patreon.com/
Bacon is my podcast. Never changing.
never changing. Find us at baconismypodcast.com. Thanks for checking it out, guys. And remember to ask yourselves,
It's your bacon.
world peace. All right. What challenge would you like to see your best friend take on?
Oh man.
And if you don't want to label best friend, like,
Sure. I'd like to see you do the Death Knot.
all right. That's good. It's good to want things. It's good to want things.
Let's not mess around here. Play with labels all you want.
Yeah, fine.
Love to see you do the Death Knot. I'd like to see a lot of my friends, my close friends, do that.
I'd like to see a lot of my close friends do the Death Knot as well.
Yeah.
You included.
Yeah.
I would love to see you do it.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited.
Although
excited
you'd be less fun to watch do it than me, because I have a peptic ulcer
right.
that
Well,
I
it's
that I
fun-
forget about until times like that.
It's fun. It's fun to watch you do the act.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to watch afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's Sandy's problem.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
That's fair. So
It's not even her problem. It's just me
right. It's
in the fetal position
you
with
and
a
Bruce.
hole burning through my back.
Yeah.
I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Why?
We will do the Death Knot.
I know.
We will do it.
I know.
It's there will be a time and a place. Okay, so I did get a question that you asked me already,
Mhm.
but I think you'd have a good answer, so I am going to ask it.
Okay.
What's something that you believe in that most people don't?
So there's lots of things. Which one do I choose? Hmm. This is actually harder than I thought it would be. because it's easy to just be like, well, I don't believe in religion, but a lot of people don't believe in religion.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's what's something that you believe in. So you believe in not believing in religion.
well, I believe that there's nothing out there,
right. Okay.
right? And a lot of people believe that more and more all the time. So I don't know if that counts. What do I believe in? I mean, I do believe in aliens. I think a lot of people believe in aliens.
Yeah.
I'm willing to believe in a lot of things if I'm given sufficient evidence. I believe that, and I don't know if most people believe this or not. I believe that our political leaders and our political parties,
Mm-hmm.
when the cameras turn off,
Mm-hmm.
they all get together in a room, share drinks, laugh with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and have big cocaine blowjob, eyes wide shut parties while they laugh at how much
At the discourse they cause.
of the chaos that they create,
Yeah.
and that they're all just good friends and they're all in on it, and it's all just it's pro wrestling on TV. I believe that. Like, I believe that. 100%. I believe that.
Yeah. Okay.
I really do. I don't know if that's an uncommon belief.
I mean, listen. On the overall, politicians, they're not skewing that hard
Right.
one way or another, right?
Right.
There are some things here and there.
Well, they're selling it like they
Right.
are, but when you look at what they actually do,
Right. No.
they don't actually do any of the things that they say.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So it's a lot of promises and a figurehead.
I think it's all a dog and pony show.
Yeah.
Are
Are you a one world government guy?
Actually, no.
Yeah.
I don't believe that that's going on.
I literally just talked to Jen about that yesterday, because a friend of ours is turned into this like real hardcore conspiracy theorist,
Right.
and was like, "Don't eat the chopped meat,"
Right.
and then ordered a hamburger
Yeah.
that
I think a lot of that stuff is thrown out there to keep us. So we know from social media that the best way to keep people engaged is to have them either afraid or angry,
right.
right? And
Right.
that's how you keep them engaged. Now, you don't keep them engaged in a meaningful way where they're actually saying anything that makes sense or trying to get things done or hold anybody
No,
accountable.
just push the
You
algorithm.
just got them scared or angry.
Right.
And those things draw views, right? That's
Right.
why everybody's got the problem
That's
with
why.
like,
That's why.
social media.
That's why our views on YouTube are not that high, because
Right.
because we play.
We don't
We're the
scare
Swiss.
anybody. Yeah.
We're the Swiss.
Right. So I think that a lot of the conspiracy theory stuff is put out there to make people do. I think if you take a critical eye at a lot of that stuff and you go, why? Who benefits from this being a secret? Who
Yeah.
benefits from this being controlled by this? And really, when you look at it, it's like, no one would do that for real, because it doesn't make sense, and it would be too hard to cover up, because you're talking about like the moon landing,
Right.
things like that, where I'm just like, okay, could it be done? Yeah, sure. Definitely could be done. But you can show me all the ways it could be done, but you can't show me the way that it could be kept a secret by thousands of people for this many years. And what's the purpose?
Yeah.
What's the end game?
Right.
Right? There has to be a finish line that you're aiming for. So
Well, it should be.
in business, there has to be.
Right.
Right? No one making the amount of money and spending the amount of money that these people are spending and making just does things. Nobody does that.
Yeah.
Right? Rich people stay rich because they don't spend money. Right? They get us to spend money.
Right.
I think that's so I don't believe, just like I find it hard to believe that like either political party can be the dumbest people on earth and also super conniving super villains that are controlling everything. You can't do both of those things at the
No.
same time.
No,
But you can put out stuff that makes people think you're either of those things
Mhm.
at the same time. And if you've got half people thinking you're this and the other half thinking you're this, no one's looking at what you are.
Right.
So yeah, there's my
no, I like it.
there's that. All right, so last one for you. Some of these, like, I know the answer to. So,
Well, you know the answer. Do they know the answer?
well, no, but I think they know the answer too. You know what I mean? Yeah, things that are like, who will you drop everything and give your time? Your kids, absolutely. Your kids, your wife. Those are easy things. This is just an interesting question, I think. What's the most difficult thing that you still do every day?
The most difficult thing to do every day is to wake up
Mhm.
and try and be better than the day before, and try not to look at the world and what's in front of you with such doom and gloom. I'm not saying to be like, completely disconnected or aloof or just
Sure.
like, like everything's
It's not a Pollyanna.
right.
Right.
It's rose-colored glasses,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that stuff. But waking up and I have to do that for young humans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're in charge of not letting other people become disillusioned, bitter, and scared,
so
and have hope.
yeah, so that, and then also towing that line of like, I try to be completely transparent with the kids. Like, we talked about the concert tickets earlier today, and it's like, hey, Gavin, we're going to see the Used, and he'd be upset that he'd know that we're going to see Story of the Year, but like,
Gavin, if you watch this, Daddy's sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry. It was a great show, by the way.
Wasn't a lie.
It wasn't
He just
a
didn't
lie.
tell you
He didn't
everything.
tell you everything. But no, I think it's towing a line, right? So the way we want to raise our children is by being transparent with them, and then also letting them know that it's okay to feel feelings.
Mhm.
It is okay for you to be upset. It is okay for you to be mad. It is okay for you to be sad. It is okay for you to be all these things, right? I don't necessarily want to tell them exactly why certain things I feel sad about, or
Mhm.
upset about, or scared about, or this or that. But I do want to instill that it's okay to feel those feelings. And then once you do feel those feelings, you can move forward.
Have you ever felt, because I know that for you sometimes it's hard to kind of like take that advice,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
So do you ever run into feeling like a hypocrite when you're trying to instill that or say that to them?
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
you too, bud.
Oh,
you too.
Every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day. And like I said, that's the difficult thing. That's the difficult thing is getting through that. And when when I do give that advice, and then you said, like you said, you look in the mirror and you go, "What are you doing, man?"
Right.
When you give that advice, it's coming out that next day and going, "All right, well, I got to try and do better. I got to try and do better at that. I got to, it's always a process. It's always a
Sure.
process, but it's important. It's important to live the process and understand that it's a process and understand that there is no end game. The end game is death. Like,
Yes.
I don't want to get morbid here, but the end game is death.
Yeah. As soon as you're born, you're dying.
Right.
Slowly. Hopefully.
Hopefully
slowly.
And that's not to be like depressing or morbid or anything
No.
like that. But
The
no, you're,
circle of life.
exactly. One day we're all going to be fertilizer.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Or people are going to find a bone somewhere and they're going to be like, this is an ancient civilization.
I read something recently that was talking about like things that we're worrying about,
Mhm.
right? And they're like, it's important to remember that in just 100 years, everyone you know, everything you've done, and everything about you will be gone and erased,
Mhm.
right? And sure, you make music, you blah blah blah, but like your actual impact,
Your footprint
It's
on the earth
gone.
is- yeah.
like if you try and think about your like great grandparents,
Mhm.
how much do you really know about them personality wise, or their
Sure.
parents? It really does just end. So all the stuff that we're worrying about and all this impact we're trying to make eventually is gone.
Right.
So the stress and the anxiety and the pressure that we put on ourselves is not as necessary as we make it, because our decisions and our things aren't as important as we like
At
to,
the end of the day.
as we like to think they are.
Exactly.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
So great answer.
Thank you.
Great answer.
Thank you. All right.
Did you give me 5 already?
No, I got one.
Okay.
And it's not as impactful as that one, but
Hey, man.
what's the most interesting class you've ever taken?
Well, for me personally, the most interesting class I ever took was like a guitar tech class. I
Yeah.
loved it. I thought it was super interesting. I thought it was super cool. I took massage classes. I thought those were pretty interesting and pretty
Yeah.
cool. So probably that. I sat in on a lot of classes at FIT. I had friends at FIT, so I went to a lot of like design classes and stuff like that just to kind of go in.
Yeah.
And those were interesting too. But I haven't really like done any like weird ones, I don't think. I'm trying to think back. I'm trying to remember. Like I took a pottery class. That was weird. I made a horrible looking vase that my mom still has. It's gross. It's gross.
It's great.
That's for me, the guitar tech one has been the most interesting one. Just because like I did it and I was like, oh man, I can make my stuff sound better,
Right.
and I can make other people's stuff sound better. And I don't need to pay someone to do this
Right.
anymore. So I thought that was cool. And then I even like put it in the back of my mind as like, this is something if I get good at, I could actually like see myself doing for
Make some
people
money.
and make some money with it, because I really enjoyed it and it was interesting.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And I learned a lot of stuff that I didn't know beforehand.
Sure.
So anytime I can do that, I think it's pretty awesome.
I like that. Learning.
Yeah.
Learning is
Learning.
fun.
It is fun.
And
And you guys have learned
trying to,
a little bit more about us.
yeah,
So
the innards.
Yeah.
If you will.
so hope you enjoyed it. This
Yeah.
has been 10 random questions.
Yeah.
Quit Bacon is my podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it again. You guys let us know if you thought it was good.
Yeah.
And it's actually a shorter episode. Let's cut it down. All right.
Yeah.
So remember to ask yourselves every single day one very important question for you. And it's easy
Yes.
because it's the same one. It's not random.
Nope. What's your bacon?
The answer is, whoopee.